Right. Well, good afternoon. Thank you for joining the Elder Financial Safety Center of the Senior Source for our Employer Spotlight. I'm Christina Taylor, Senior Career Coach with the EFSC, joined by...
Oh, and I'm Kim Markman, and I am a career coach.
And we also have with us today our special guest, Miss Teresa Bell. She is the Talent Acquisition Manager for the Albertson Stores. Before we get going, we just want to, again, thank you. We invite you to join us for this Employer Spotlight and also share on any of your platforms. So what are we doing here today? So today, we are focused on directing your attention and focus towards a very great company, who they are, what they offer, and also giving the opportunity to ask questions about the employment process. This is a first in a series of employer spotlights that the EFSC is hoping to move forward in this virtual space. So we thank you all for joining us today. I have a great pleasure of introducing Teresa Bell. Teresa is the Talent Acquisition Manager for the Southern Division of the Albertson Stores. And if you're not familiar, those stores include Randall's, Tom Thumbs, and of course, Albertsons. A bit of information about her. She began her career in 1979 with the company as a cashier in Houston. It was the Randall stores. As the company grew, she followed and progressively stepped into various store and operation support roles, from the accounting to payroll, and then finally where she is now in the human resources department. In her free time, Teresa enjoys spending time with her family, her kids, and her grandkids. Teresa, thank you for joining us.
It is my pleasure to be here with you. Thank you. And I didn't realize this was your very first broadcast. So
yes.
It's my honor to be on your very first broadcast. Thank you very much.
Yes, you are welcome. We are glad to have you, Teresa. So let's just kind of jump in. Kim and I will kind of tag team. Kim can manage, and we'll both kind of manage the chat as people have questions about employment and about Albertsons. We'll be sure to make sure that you have those. First things first, a little bit about the company, the Albertson Stores. Give us the who, the what, the why, and all the good stuff.
Well, I didn't dig up a whole lot of bio info on the company because when you hop online, there is so much wonderful information there. And to be honest with you, I've been with the company for over 40 years now, and I could spend this whole time talking about the company. How it started, who I know.
Right.
I've never been to Boise. I can tell you that the Randall stores are in Houston, as you mentioned, and of course we won't talk about those today because we're focusing on Tom Thumb and Albertson stores here in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. But the Randall stores were originally started by the Onstead family, and it was a privately owned company. Started in 1966. Tom Thumb was started by some Dallas area citizens. Oh goodness, Jack Evans was at the helm, and then oh my goodness, I could just shoot myself. I don't know what his name is, but it was started out being known as the Cullum Companies, and yes, and then Mr. Cullum and Mr. Evans came together and formed their own little group of stores, and they called those the Tom Thumb stores because it was a very small group of stores, and they thought that at the time in 1948, when all this was going on, that Tom Thumb was an appropriate name for their little itty bitty company. Little did they know it was going to grow and bloom and blossom and explode into this amazing competitive grocer in this giant DFW Metroplex.
Wow.
Yes. Now, Albertsons was a totally separate company. They started in 1939. They were started by a former district manager from Safeway. And yes, and he started his group of Albertson stores in Boise, Idaho. So we have a division office, a corporate office in Boise, Idaho, and they also kept the corporate office in Pleasanton, California. So we've got those couple of corporate offices. And in 2014, I believe, Albertsons reached out to the Safeway company and apparently started negotiating. This is way above my pay grade, so I don't have all those details, but apparently Albertsons recognized what an amazing company Safeway was, because Safeway scooped up all these amazing little companies that were just blowing things out of the water, competition wise. So Albertsons and basically Albertsons and Safeway joined forces, and ultimately we are now under the Albertsons company's umbrella with, I think it's 22 banners, including Randall's Tom Thumb and then Albertson Stores in our area. There are also some United stores, in the DFW area. Those are actually their own division. So if you see any Market Street stores and United stores, possibly in other parts of Texas, those are under the United umbrella. Wow. Which is also under the Albertsons umbrella, but they're not part of the Tom Thumb and Albertsons group. So just FYI.
That is amazing. Such growth in such the amount of time. So you guys are pretty much everywhere. Are there any states that the Albertson stores are not, or the Tom Thumb stores are not, that you're familiar with, or that
Goodness. Yes, I think there are. We do have so many banners that it encompasses, I think, most of the 48 states, 50 states, really.
Good.
Yeah, we do have stores for folks that are interested in moving, Alaska and Hawaii as well. So we always joke about moving to Hawaii, and we could still stay with the company, live on the beach and go to work when we have to.
Yeah, that would be completely awesome. That's so very good. Well, again, kind of the focus of our time together is to talk to our viewing audience about, kind of what the stores offer, talk a little bit about the recruitment process, just an overview application process, if you'd like to talk about that, interviewing process. And I think that you said you'd like me to go ahead and add a stream. Go ahead and add this. You have a screen up, Teresa, you'd like me to add?
I do, and I haven't actually logged in yet because I wanted to demonstrate just kind of how to get to the site. So, so first of all, our hot jobs, just about every job in our stores is hot. I will tell you that we have a huge focus on pharmacy technicians right now. That is a skilled position that, of course, many folks do not have those skills, but those folks that do, please give me a call, give Christina a call, and she'll get me your information. But our pharmacy technician job is a very hot job right now. And our cashiers and our Starbucks clerks are always hot jobs. Those are jobs where under 18-year-olds can apply. So 16, we do start hiring at 16, and Starbucks and cashier and courtesy clerk are the jobs included in the group that we can hire for under the age of 18.
Wonderful.
All other jobs require at least 18 years.
Okay, so you said that cashiers, pharmacy techs, though, in the Starbucks. I love the Starbucks that are inside. Do you hire those as well? Okay, wonderful. So those are our hot jobs. Kim, do you have a question or anything at this time?
And do you also hire for, I had a gentleman the other day who was interested in a driving job, and I know I live within walking distance of 2 Tom Thumbs, actually, but I know they both deliver. So do you guys have a separate job for just the delivery drivers, or?
Actually, yes. The delivery drivers are actually hired by corporate, and those are on the website as well. And, amazingly enough, and why this happens, I'm not sure. They call that department e-commerce, and they call that department grocery works. So when you're looking online, don't be confused. Usually the word driver is in there, so you can find that in relation to the stores. And then, of course, we have the semi-truck drivers that work out of our distribution center up in Roanoke as well. I do not recruit for the distribution center, but I can certainly get anyone in contact with the right people should they be interested in the distribution center.
That's awesome. And Teresa, I'm sorry, Kim, were you going?
No.
Okay. As far as your specific recruitment, you recruit primarily in stores, or what does that encompass exactly?
I'm so glad you asked me that.
Yes.
As you kind of said, I am the talent acquisition manager, but I am the only one in my own department. So
Oh, wow.
I know. So I'm kind of I guess at the top of I hate to say the top, maybe we'll do it this way. I'm at the bottom of the chain when it comes to the recruiting piece,
Uh-huh.
because each individual store does do their own recruiting and hiring. So recruiting, interviewing, hiring, and training all happen at the location that the candidate is interested in working.
Wonderful.
There are no offsite trainings. There may be for a pharmacy technician. So I do want to put maybe that disclaimer in there.
Right.
Training for pharmacy technicians may happen off-site, but otherwise all of our store positions pretty much happen right there in the store.
In the store. And that brings
Yes.
up an excellent point before we move into the actual application process, Teresa. In light of the pandemic, a lot of organizations are choosing to kind of operate in a virtual space. A candidate that's interested in any position with the Albertson stores, what are kind of the expectations around that? Are you all operating in some capacity virtually, or is everything still pretty much done on site?
For our retail locations, everything is done on site.
Okay.
Absolutely. When you're hired at the store, you're going to be working at the store with other folks, interacting with customers if that's what your job requires. The jobs that don't interact with customers are very few and far between. One of them being working at the back door. Maybe working overnight, you might not encounter too many customers, but yeah, it is all in person, and that's something that needs to be considered when folks are thinking about working in that environment now.
Right. That's so true.
Yeah,
Very
we do have the plexiglass separators up between the customer and the employees in those various departments. In deli, in bakery, in food service, in up front at the cashiers, we've got the plexiglass separators. So we try desperately to be sure that folks are social distance as much as possible. That's not within 6 feet.
Right.
And of course, everybody wears a mask and their PPE, their personal protective equipment. So
That's
we're
awesome.
very in tune with that, and that's just something that folks do need to be aware of. Applicants do need to be aware of. But it is so much fun working in the store. I just have to say, it's bipolar, because a few minutes you could be completely just waiting for your customers, maybe facing some aisles, straightening up your area, cleaning up your area, and next thing you know, you're busy and chatting and talking up with customers, depending on what time of the day it is. So it's a great environment.
That is so very true. I've actually had the honor, I will, of having one of my favorite stores be right up the street from my house. It's a Tum Thum, and every time I go in there, it's bustling. All of the safety precautions are in place, but everyone, in spite of how everything is going, everyone is still very friendly. They're still very aware, that we are in a pandemic. And I've noticed every station you come to, there's hand sanitizer, or
Yes.
if you need something to feel safe in the store, you guys have done an excellent job of that. And speaking of, before we move into the next part, the kind of the precautions that are taking, do you feel, or Teresa, has the onboarding process for employees significantly changed as far as what they have to know working inside of inside of a store in mid-pandemic?
Really, no. The biggest things that have changed, I would say, are really what you've just mentioned. Being aware of your surroundings, being aware that there are procedures, processes, and equipment that are helping us all stay safe, whether we're an employee or whether we're a customer, and to just be aware of those processes and procedures. And that is covered in training. Everybody gets to go through training once they've been hired, and that is all covered in that training. So absolutely, we want everybody to be aware, not only for themselves, but for those around them. And we do train for that.
That's important. That's so important. Okay. Well, Teresa, I think that we've covered that part very, very well. Kim, do you have any, is anyone in the chat talking to us at all? All right. I think we may have a few questions. Looks like a pause. There we go. We got paused a little bit.
Yeah, and I didn't really see anything. I can't really see the chat on this screen, so I was going to Facebook and looking at it.
Oh, wow. Okay. We'll have to fix that. Look,
so that's why my computer was like, no, you're not doing that today. But
the beauty of live television. Well, I'll say this. Looks like we have a question from Deb Burkham. Kim, I think you may have seen that one there, or a comment.
Yeah, self checkout. They're moving to self checkout.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, there is self-checkout, and those are monitored by a person or persons, and they do, continually keep those areas clean.
Mm-hmm.
We have to. It's the same precautionary measures that have to be taken at each register. As I said, there's only one person monitoring those 3 or 4 or 5 check stands in self-checkout, but they are under the attention of someone to be sure that those sanitization processes are being upheld.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah, we also had another question. Somebody asking what jobs are senior friendly that are available.
Well, I would say that just about every job in the store is a senior friendly position. That is really kind of an open-ended question because it depends on, I guess, on your energy level and what you're interested in doing. Now, when you're a cashier, generally, you are at your check stand and you're helping customers, you're keeping your area clean, maybe restocking some bags in the checkout stand, and just being aware of what's going on and looking out for customers that are either ready to check out or maybe looking for some product. So you're I guess kind of limited to the area that you can cover in the store. Now, folks that stock, they're going to be those that go in and out of the back room, emptying boxes, taking full boxes out to the floor, stocking the product, taking the empty boxes back and putting those in the baler and getting rid of those. So that is a very, very mobile position. So I hope that helps answer that a little bit. If you're in a certain department, you're going to be relegated to that department for the most part. Right.
Yeah, because our clients, they cover such a broad spectrum. We have people working in Apple, and they love it. That's what they want.
That's what they want. Exactly. Yeah. They want the interaction. They want the ability to, be with others and kind of diversify their experience within a store. So I think that that's an awesome,
something more physical. Yeah. They don't mind the stocking, the lifting. Some people like that too. So
absolutely.
Absolutely.
So that said, once we hop online, I can show you, some of the job descriptions will kind of outline that information.
Okay.
So I was just, can you see my screen or no? Are you going to do this for me?
We can see you. We have a Google. We see you at Google.
Okay, super.
Okay,
so I was just going to type in I can't type. So those of you that can't type, I can relate. And you can see that it's, because I've gone to the site many times, you can see that it's already populating with www.albertsonscompanies.com. And then if you want to go that extra mile with your fingers, put in that / and type in careers.
Okay. We go. Okay. I think it's pulling up now.
It's right here at the top. So albertsonscompanies.com/careers.
Okay.
And this will be the initial screen you see when you add the careers piece to the end of that. If you go to albertsonscompanies.com, you're going to see the store site, which we can do that in a minute if we have time. I am going to just enlarge this screen a little bit so we can see what's going on.
Yeah, wonderful.
All right. So, of course, you have all these happy people. And that's usually how it looks out there. People are having fun, interacting, enjoying their jobs. We love it. And the best thing to do is just type your zip code in right here. So, and once you know that that's your city, now you probably saw the drop down. So just select the place where you are, 77025 brings up Plano, Allen, and Frisco. So if you live closer to Frisco, just pop onto Frisco, Allen or Plano, whichever is closest to you. You can also put in a mileage. So if you can hop on a bus and get there more than just down the street, I mean, it's completely up to you how far you want to take that, because there's Tom Thumbs and Albertsons all over the place. Go over here and just search jobs. And these are the jobs that are going to be in this zip code. Our jobs are actually listed here under the department. So if that is slowing you down a little bit, you can always put in a keyword, say cashier, or you can type in produce. If you don't know the department or the area of the store that you want to work in, now that surprises me. There's not any cashiers in there, but I might have typed that in incorrectly. So I'm going to go back to what you are going to see, just so that you can relate to what you're going to see without getting too confused or too drop downish, so to speak. So if you scroll down, you can see that obviously the floral department would be where the flowers are. The grocery department has lots of people in it. The stockers, the clerks, the front end department encompasses a lot of our jobs. So I'm going to go ahead and click on front end department here. Once you select your department of choice, like I said, the front end encompasses several job titles. You can go over here to the external the external description. And I'm sorry, that's not too great of an image on my screen, so I apologize. But when you get on your own computer, you'll be able to examine it a little bit better. In our front end department, your potential to thrive is at your fingertips. As the face of the company, and whether ringing up orders, problem solving, or bagging groceries, you have an opportunity to interact and leave a lasting impression with our valued customers. The possibilities are endless if you have a passion for customer service. So those jobs on our front end will include the checker. That's probably why cashier didn't come up. Checker or food clerk, and that gives a short description of the job. The courtesy clerk, which is ultimately the baggers and those that help with sacking and carrying out groceries and carts and things like that. Our customer service clerks, who work in the customer service desk, and they also help customers in many other ways. And then the bookkeeping and personnel coordinator or bookkeeper. So if you just hop online, you'll be able to get some more detail on the position that most interests you.
Wonderful. That's awesome, Teresa. Thank you so much for that. Everyone, if you're just now joining us, again, you can go to that user-friendly website and you can look at jobs that are now available in your area. It's as simple as going to your zip code, putting that in. And if I get this right, Teresa, a list of jobs will populate, and then you can choose from whatever department you're interested in and apply directly to that position. Is that right?
That's right.
Awesome.
Once you've selected the department that you want to work in, knowing kind of what options are available, you'll choose your location by just interacting with your screen. Mm-hmm. And again, we can type in that same zip code.
I'm wondering, is it moving? Looks like we're on the same screen. Did yours move, Teresa?
Yeah, let me move it over a little bit. Now, over on the right-hand side, you can see, I hope you can see this, maybe not.
I don't can.
You can't see it. Okay, on the
Yeah.
right-hand side of my screen, I'll tell you what it is. It's got the front end department listed on the right-hand side of the screen, and then the location information, the address to the stores are showing
Got
on a
it.
drop-down menu. So you
Got
can
it. Okay.
easily select a store by looking at the address. And once you select the stores that you'd like to apply to, then you'll create a login.
Got it. That's important. Creating a login. In fact, we've got a whole series, an online Facebook series that we presented not too long ago about the online application process. Be sure if you haven't visited that live Facebook Live that you do, because that will definitely aid you in applying for jobs like the Albertsons and Tom Thumb. Okay, so we discussed hot jobs. We talked very much about the kind of the how to get online and apply directly to it. So I am interested. I hop online. I create a profile. I want to be a front-end cashier. I get a call back. What can I expect, Teresa? Can you kind of walk our viewers through what this looks like post completing the application? If you
Oh,
can.
yes, you bet. You bet. Now, if you already know where you want to work, you visited the store before, you like shopping there, or whatever, you can always just call or go to the store and tell them your app is complete and you're ready to interview. What do they got going on? Ready to start, whatever. You can wait for the phone call to you, or you can give the store a call without even leaving the house and just say, what are you hiring for? My application's complete. I'm ready to start working. What do I do next? To be honest with you, because each store handles their own interviewing and kind of have their own processes in place, it may vary by store. But ultimately, when the application is complete, we do try to get our administrative coordinators or bookkeepers to review those applications every day, specifically for those jobs that they are hiring for now, those hot jobs, and call folks immediately. Now, some stores might do a phone screen if there isn't enough information on that completed application for them to determine if you're going to be a fit or not. The application process can be pretty short, and it can be extended depending on how much information you want to share up front. If you don't share a lot of information up front, then the store may call and go through a quick phone interview to find out what your availability is, when you want to work, when you're available for a face-to-face interview. If there's a lot of information on your application and they can determine the hours that you're available right then and there by looking at that app, then they'll call you in and say, when can you come in to interview? We're at your disposal. Come in when you're ready. And they'll make that appointment with you right then and there without actually having to do that pre-screen.
I love that. And guys, if you're watching, Teresa mentioned something that's very important. And I mean, as an acquisition manager, talent acquisition manager, you know how important that pre-screen is. Sometimes it does happen, sometimes it doesn't, but it is definitely a way that an employer gets to kind of determine, you know, at a minimum or mid to minimum level how viable you may be for a role. So always be prepared for that call. That may be a pre-screen and subsequently an invitation to come in and take on a job. So interviewing process has gone good. Typically, ideally, Teresa, what would you say is about the average amount of time a candidate or applicant can expect to hear back from offer to onboarding? What are you guys looking at as far as that time?
The offer to onboard? That happens very quickly. Once we make an offer, we ask the candidate to complete some additional information because we do require a background check for folks 18 and over. So that process needs to happen. So once the offer is made, ultimately what happens is you'll get an email or you'll be notified by the store team and they'll say, please go ahead and complete the rest of your application so we can get that background finished and collect the other personal data we need so that when you're boarding, you will have your direct deposit set up. We'll have all the information we need to basically create a record inside our payroll system.
Wonderful.
So it does not take long at all.
Doesn't take long at all. It's pretty quick. And I want to stop really quickly because we've got a lot of interest. I believe that the address that I put in was incorrect. Can you give us that address again to apply?
albertsonscompanies.com. And then you can do the slash if you want to.
Okay.
With careers after that. So
Got
it'll
it.
be www.albertsonscompanies.com/careers, and it'll take you immediately to that webpage that I was just on.
Wonderful. Okay, guys, try that one. That one should absolutely work. So we have walked through quite a few things here, from the online application process to the follow-up to the possible pre-screen, from that to an interview and onboarding, and then to my favorite part, which is, in your words and in your experience, what would be the ideal or the best way to describe working for an Albertsons company store? What can they expect?
Well, it can be very fast paced, and it can be very slow paced, like we talked about earlier. And those roller coaster rides do happen. Our busiest times are usually, as someone might guess, during commute time, lunchtime, and then around dinner time, when people are looking for the food or looking for their prep stuff for a party or whatever the case. And of course, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays are usually just hopping.
Oh, yeah.
When an applicant first gets hired, of course, like we said, the training is a very important piece of it. And so a lot of that orientation and training is done, of course, the very first days, because we don't want you on the floor not knowing a darn thing about what you're supposed to do next. It's not productive for you, and it's not productive for the store team. The department that you're going to join, because you'll stand there and not know what to do next. So training is very important, and training can be anywhere from 10 hours to 40 hours, depending on what the position is and how much you need to know, how much detail you need to have to successfully complete your job on a day-to-day basis. Yeah.
And we're imagining this is paid training, right? Like, so they're going and you're working and you're being paid as you're trained. I think that is amazing. Okay, Kim, do we have any questions in the chat or any other ideas you can think of before we move into our kind of open discussion here?
I'm not really seeing anything in the chat.
Okay, guys, if you got questions, you have Teresa Bell here to answer them. Don't let this opportunity pass you by. All right.
It's a lot of fun. People from 16, which is when we start hiring, to 199 will fit in the store environment. I'm telling you. Right. It's just so fun. The time can go really, really fast. You punch in, if you're in one of those departments that's always hopping, next thing you know, it's going to be time to go home. Right. And you'll know it. But it's so much fun in between. There's lots of interaction. There's lots to do. I feel like when you work in a store, you feel like you've really accomplished something by the end of the day, because there is always something going on, whether you're keeping the display cases clean, whether you're waiting on customers, whether you're creating cupcakes and brownies, packaging, washing the fruits and vegetables. There's always something that can be done that's going to make not only your experience fun, but making our customers' experiences better.
Wonderful.
So, okay, yeah. I do have a question here. Is entry-level pay minimum wage or higher?
Right now it's minimum wage. Entry level is minimum wage. If you have a skill, so I would say meat cutters, and cake decorators, bakers, those folks with those a little bit of additional skills will not start at minimum wage. Everybody doesn't actually start at minimum wage. So if you come today, you've had retail experience in the past, you can expect to not start at minimum wage. No, usually it's the no skills, where it's how it is when you go to the grocery store. We have lots of kiddos working in there, 16, 17, 18, that haven't had a job before. Those are the folks that will normally start at min, because that is their first experience in a job. Experienced folks will always start higher than the minimum wage. So that's a great question. Thank you.
That is an awesome question. Thank you so much, Deb Burkham. We appreciate that. One thing I did want to know, and I think a lot of our viewers would like to know, well, let me say this before we move into that. There are other positions other than retail. So I know a lot of our viewing audience and our clients come from other types of professions or backgrounds, whether it's IT or human resources, admin or accounting. So I would imagine that same website will offer information about mid to higher level positions as well. So there's a whole array of positions available. So guys, we wanted you to be sure to know that, not just retail, the Albertson store and Tom Thumb stores hires across the line for positions. But speaking of, in your opinion, as an acquisition manager, ideal candidates, when your idea, what is the ideal candidate for this particular business?
Oh, I love that. I so love that question. You had put that on my list of items to address, and it's so easy. We always love a smile. You know, we're generally, when you walk into a store, you are greeted by folks, and the folks in the store, no matter what you're in there for, even if you're going in just to get out of the rain, it's always nice to see a smile on those folks' face. So we look for folks that really do have it in their intention to be that person, to be that ambassador and that representative of our company. So smiling is good. We look for folks to be committed to their position once they're hired. Amazingly, in retail, it's a tough market. In Dallas and Fort Worth in particular, Houston in particular, the competition is fierce, and retail and grocery stores they need folks when they need them, and it's important that when you say you're available, because that's kind of how we schedule people. And when a employee is on the schedule, that store, that location needs you on the job when you're scheduled. So it's just really important that they're really in a grocery store, in a retail environment, generally speaking, there isn't someone that can step up and replace you. You are that person that needs to be on register 4 with the other people on register 1, 2, and 3, so that we can get our folks checked out in a very well organized and safe manner. And if 75% of the team is there because you couldn't come in for whatever reason, that puts a detriment on the team. So we like team players. We love smiles. We love folks that can come in and just articulate their skills and abilities. And it's not all about you're only going to be doing A, B, C. So flexibility is very important as well. Once you run a register, you could run a register over in the floral department if someone needs to be checked out over there, or on the front end if somebody needs to be checked out there. So versatility is really important. And it's important when you go in to an interview to talk about your experience and what you want to get out of this position as well. It's a joint effort, I guess. It's a team effort, because we want you to be happy, and of course you want to be happy in the position. So
wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. I think we have another question. Kim may have a question about older adults.
Oh, certainly.
Yeah.
Again, like I said, we hire at all age levels, because those jobs fit anyone from 16, 17, 18, all the way up to as long as someone wants to come into work. Our commitment to hiring older adults is no different than our commitment to hiring anybody that has the desire, has the experience, and the want to come in and be a successful part of the group. Most of our jobs are entry level, to be honest with you. Most of them are part-time, unless you have those managerially experience that you want to bring in and go into a management position. But all of our positions are very trainable. for all ages. And I hate to hone in on just the older adults, because our jobs are really conducive to any age, depending on what you want to do, kind of like what Kim said earlier. But goodness, our older citizens, our older adults have so much experience to offer. They have so much knowledge. They have become more solid, I think, in their thinking, and therefore can get from A to Z a little bit quicker than somebody that has to think about, okay, what's going to happen next, what's going to happen next, because they've been there, whether it's been in a work experience or whether it's just been in a personal life experience, because they have faced many situations that cause them to do critical thinking without even batting an eye. Our older citizens understand business better, I think. They can be super role models. They can take folks that maybe aren't understanding something and show them how it's done without being a threat to them, or
like
without being being somebody that they have to worry about stepping on their toes or anything. I just feel like with the experience and the maturity of our older community, that they've got just tons to offer in this kind of environment. And older folks too know how they want to be treated when they go into a business, and they can certainly turn around and make that happen as part of a business serving other people. There's a good understanding there, and their maturity helps too.
That's beautiful. And that's exactly what we like to hear. We like to be sure that, employers are, have a level of commitment for all types of hiring. But, it comes a time when you now become the, not only the consumer, but the person that's taking part in the process or the experience of being a customer. And to your point, Teresa, if you've been the customer, then you absolutely know how you want to be treated, and you are more easily able to encourage and influence others that are up under you. And that's why we really, we champion our 50 plus population to take those skills and those knowledges and apply them right in whatever place you're in, because it is absolutely valuable for the next people that are coming up under us.
Absolutely. Yes. Very, very well said.
Wonderful. Kim, do we have anything else in the chat or any other questions before we move into a kind of Q&A session? Teresa, did we get your story? Did we get your Albertson story? We still we're not getting away from that.
If we have time for that, I'll always share it.
No, we really didn't have any questions or anything.
So. Wonderful. Okay, well, round us out with your story, Teresa. We'd love to hear this.
All right. Well, I moved to Houston from Iowa in 1976. And after I had my first child, I just wanted to get out a little bit and just work a job just to get a little bit of extra money. And we got married recently, and we needed furniture and things like that. So there was a store down the street within walking distance from me. I know somebody talked about walking distance earlier, that they've got Tom Thumbs and Albertsons near their homes. And that's what prompted me really to go to Randall's, is because it was close to the house. And I had some checker experience from high school. So I walked in, and I was hired fairly quickly. I think I submitted my application in September, got hired October the 1st. Of course, I remember that, October 1st, 1979. And oh my goodness, from then on, it was just the best. I will tell you, I was 19 years old at the time. The people in that store, who most of them were older than me because they had already started establishing their careers, were amazing. Amazing. They take you in, they want you to succeed. They recognize your ability to do whatever it is that you have the desire to do. You don't really have to say, hey, I want to do this or that, because they already recognize the enthusiasm toward whatever it is that you're going for. And I really just wanted to be a checker. I just really wanted a part-time job. Well, apparently I did a good job with what I was doing. So they asked me to go into the cash office and work there. So I started working in the cash office for a little while. And amazingly, there were only about 10 Randall stores at that time. Amazingly, oh my goodness, I was just blown away. The controller of the company called me at my store and asked me to come work in the accounting office because of the work I did at the store. I didn't even know this man. He called and said, would you be interested in coming and working in the accounting office? And I said, okay.
Sure.
And that worked out good because that was going to be a job that was 8 to 5 instead of me working the store schedule, which really was whatever they wanted. And I mainly worked nights because my husband worked during the day. So that was our little trade-off back then. Progressively, when I started working in the accounting office, we were opening more stores and more opportunities were becoming available. And the accounting office started splitting off into its own little sections then, instead of just one little group handling everything. So as the company grew, our departments grew. And so I was able to eventually take over the supervisor role in one of the departments that was growing as the company was growing. And that was in accounting. And progressively, as time went on, I just took every single opportunity that I could to not only work with the amazing people, but to work on things that I thought I might be interested in. And so 79 to 86, I worked in the store. 86 to 96, I worked in the accounting department. And then in 1996, I went to HR. And yeah, I've been in HR in various roles.
Mm-hmm.
I was over the payroll. I was over the entering new employee information. And of course, back then we did it all by hand. So we had a team of people that did data entry.
Yeah.
Did it all then, data integrity, systems analysis, and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And ultimately, in the many steps that it took at Randall's, I was at Randall's until 2017.
Mm-hmm.
I was in the HR department there as the talent acquisition rep when I left. Or when my job was eliminated in Houston. And then in 2017, actually beginning of 2018, I was recruited by the VP of HR at Tom Thumb Albertson Stores to come join the team here in the DFW area. So you know what, just like in the past, I took advantage of that opportunity. And so here I am. And so it has been an awesome haul. Mm-hmm. And people say, how can you work for the same company all that time? And I will tell you, it's always about the people. Mm-hmm. I love the people that I work with. I have encountered so many wonderful people in my career at this company, and they're still out there. And honestly, you know, when we were talking about earlier, the commitment to our older adults. Mm-hmm. If you walk into any Tom Thumb or Albertson stores, you will see that the core people are older adults. Mm-hmm. That they are, and they've been there for 10 years, 15 years, 20, 25. Some of our store managers have been with the company longer than I have been with the company. And we love it because it's all about the people, and the leadership is, you know, second to none, really. We have amazing leadership. So thank you for letting me share that.
Absolutely. No, it's
that story.
Inspiring. Yeah, I do too. I'm glad I got to hear that. It's, you know, it is so important, right? Because what that says is that you are in an environment that has, you know, promoted your growth, that has promoted, you know, the versatility of your skill set, that has actually invested in seeing you move, you know, from higher to higher to higher. And yeah, I think that's amazing. Teresa, thank you so much for sharing that with us. Kim, I think you were saying we have a question, one more question or two?
Yeah, what benefits does Albertsons offer for full-time employees, and are there any benefits for part-time?
Oh, I am so glad you asked me that, because I have a list of remarkable reasons to join our team, and I need to send this to Christina. Christina, so you have this to refer to when people ask. So is it okay if I just go down my list?
Absolutely. Take it away.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so it does include benefits, medical insurance, dental insurance, vision, prescription plan, 401k match, employee assistance program, teledoc, and Bridge Health. Bridge Health is just one of those programs where if you feel like you need something outside of what your doctor has prescribed for you, you call this Bridge Health and they assess your situation to help you make those decisions. So that's the benefits piece. I want to talk about benefits.
Full and part-time?
I was just going to say that our full-time employees are eligible for their benefits either 30 days or 60 days, depending on the level, after they turn full-time. Our part-time employees are eligible for benefits as well, as long as they maintain a 30-hour average work week for 26 weeks, for the measurement period of 26 weeks. Does that make sense? I hope. Okay. So yes, part-timers are also eligible as long as they maintain that 30-hour schedule or more.
Got it. Part-timers do get benefits. Awesome. Okay.
Yes. Right. We are all about community involvement and volunteer opportunities. So when the time comes, we are all about community involvement, volunteer opportunities. And every store in their own community is responsible for community outreach and working with their communities, their schools, whether they're high school, middle school, or elementary school, churches, and any other entities that they feel like supporting in their communities. We have a company portal for information and resources, and okay, I know we're talking about the senior source and our older folks, but our company portal has everything on it you would ever want and more. You can go in there. It shows you your pay information, your job information, how long you've been with the company, what your health plan covers, what all the options are in the health plan. All of that information is on our company portal. It's fabulous. So you got to be a little bit computer literate as far as, hopping online and logging in and things like that. But if you're not, they always help at the store. So the folks that work at the store, the administrative coordinators and those folks can always help you with those steps if you need them. Diversity inclusion is huge for us. And you walk into a Tom Thumb Albertson store and you can see the diversity from age, from ethnicity, from gender.
Right.
I mean, it's just amazing. Because it's not about that. It's about you being able to support your community and the customers that walk into our stores. That is what it's all about. Oh my goodness. Right now, this time of the year, we are sending out announcements to every single one of our stores about scholarship opportunities, either for themselves or for family members, family members. So I'm kidding. I know, I need to adopt you so that you can be one of my family. Okay, if my grandson was graduating from high school right now, I could apply for a scholarship for him, even though he does not work for the company, because he is my grandson. Is that phenomenal or what?
That is phenomenal. That's investment, right? That is how you invest.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And our educational opportunities start with the folks in high school, our kiddos in high school, all the way through getting a retail certificate for anybody and everybody that wants to apply. That has been something that we have been so very proud of and supporting the last couple of years. So many of our employees have received this retail certificate free, tuition free, through our company. And it's phenomenal. Employee discounts. Okay, once you're an employee, you if you don't have a Just for You card as a customer, you certainly should have one as an employee, because we offer employee discounts every single week. You have to go in there and kind of pick the ones that you want. But not only do you receive employee discounts, but if you buy certain products, or you're interested in certain products, then you get little freebies through the course of time as you go. So if you always buy the little packs of salad, one of your rewards could be get 2 bags of salad free because you buy it all the time. So those are, the employee discounts are amazing. All over the place, all over the store, Starbucks. Okay. Our own brands are some of the best brands in retail grocery. So our Signature Select items in our own brands includes our, it says own brands on the front. It says O Organics on the front. Anything that's a Safeway brand, those are our own brands,
like
our
those.
Albertsons brand. They are so good. You think, I don't want to try an off brand. I'd rather, no. They are equal to, I feel, the brand names and as good or better than the brand names. So we're very, very proud of those. And I love our own brands. Flexible schedules. Now, the grocery store is open from 7 a.m. in the morning until midnight. So there are a variety of schedules available for folks that have limited availability. I was talking earlier about having availability. Of course, you need to be dependable based on the availability that you have, but there are schedules from, we got to have folks there early in the morning. So from 6 o'clock in the morning till all the way through till the next morning, we close at midnight or 1, but we do have overnight folks that work as well. So if that's your availability, just be open and upfront with the interviewing manager at the time of interview so that your schedule can match your availability. And it's all the way to the, sky's the limit from there.
I think that's beautiful. Teresa, thank you so much. All of those benefits are amazing. And as you said, those can be located, a few of them, I'm sure, on the site, but also through a specific portal that you all have. Is that right?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay,
I'm going to send them to you so that you,
send them, yeah.
you
So
have
we
them
will
as
definitely
well.
know that. They'll definitely know that. We're gonna take our time here and we'll check the chat and see if there are any more questions, but we'll round out with a few kind of takeaways. Teresa, again, thank you so much for joining us today. It is our great honor. Kim is familiar with you and she knows you and was super excited that you're joining us and it was like, you got to let her tell. We got to hear this story. And I think that it is an amazing story. I think it's very encouraging. And I think that it's, gives people the insight into, hey, you can be anywhere in your life. And if you take the opportunities that are presented before you, they can take you far and above, no matter your age or where you are. And that's something that we think is very important, particularly to older adults who are seeking employment. I don't know that we have any additional questions. Kim, do you have anything there? Okay. Well, Teresa, we thank you again. Anyone that is watching, all of our viewers, we will have this spotlight is recorded, so you're welcome to go back and visit it. We will have more information about the Albertson Stores, their benefits, and the jobs that are available. If you are an older adult or any adult that's needing advice, career coaching, or more information about the EFSC, you're welcome to contact us. At the bottom of our screen is a number. It has a senior source, Elder Financial Safety Center Employment. You can call today. That number is 214-823-5700, and you can connect with either Kim or myself, and we will be able to help you. Teresa, again, we thank you for joining us. It's been quite a pleasure, and we look forward to seeing you again soon.
Yes, I can't wait. I'm so excited we got to meet, and it has been an absolute pleasure for me. I love bragging on the company, and thank you for letting me do that on your platform.
You've done wonderfully. All right. Well, we're going to close this out. Guys, thank you again for joining us here for our first Employer Spotlight with Teresa Bell of the Albertson Stores. You all have a great rest of the evening.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for joining us.